This one is going to be a really long video. The purpose of it is to show that there is speculation out there. You could still expand your collection, or, I mean, if you want to make money, you can make money too. My intent for doing this buy right here was to expand my collection and get some books that I really want. The question is, how many books can I get, or can I even get some books? I think I can. I think this is a great buy. Now, I haven't been hunting. Sometimes, though, you don't have to hunt. Sometimes, hey, listen, man, I use the Sandsman, the Cookie Man, sometimes to do the hunting. It's great for him because he makes a little bit of money on it. It's great for me because I find that there is great deals to be had. When you look at that price, it doesn't seem like this is a great deal, right? But it is a lot of quantity and a lot of really good stuff. Thing about it is that there's only one book that's graded. I'm going to show every single book here, though. But I'm going to spend a lot more money. I'm going to guess when this is all done, I'm going to spend an additional probably $1,000 to grade and press some of these books. The majority don't need pressing, but some of them do. I'm going to, you know what? Let's start showing them off right here. So, first one is Something's Killing the Children #1. This is a first print, and this is signed. And I know for a fact that this is signed by Tynan because I saw videos of the Cookie Man taking this to a local comic shop of his, and he got this signed along with some other books. There's other books that I actually have. #5, I bought #5 from him as well. That's also signed. It's going to be going out with this one. This is going to get, I don't even think it needs a press, to tell you the truth. I think easily this will be a 9.6. I'm not even sure if I'm going to get it pressed. I'm thinking just for the hell of it, I might have CGC press it. Maybe. All right. But this is going to be a signature verification type thing because it's not witnessed. This came in the deal. All of these are in the deal. This one was in the deal. Now, this one was really beat up. Like, it was really dirty. It had a lot of tape. I don't know if they had. I had to clean this up. I cleaned this up with extra virgin olive oil is what I cleaned it up with. I probably should have done a video on how to clean stuff like that up, but it takes a long time to clean, and you got to be really careful with it. These next ones are also going to need JSA's approval as well, even though they all come with a certificate of authenticity. These are Scotty Young's Something's Killing the Children #0s. There are 2 versions of them. I believe they're limited to 500. This one here is a Transformer. This is a Clayton Crane signature. Also has a certificate of authenticity as well. So that should go, and that's limited to 242. There's no reason why these 3 shouldn't be 9.8. There really isn't a reason why these should not be 9.8. So let's go with that. So those are pretty decent. Then you have Transformers. These are the logo variants, the purple and the red. Those are not as big of books. Then you have Ultimate and Absolute, pretty much the same, okay, except that DC decides to call theirs Absolute series, and then Marvel calls theirs the Ultimate series. These are not signed. This is Ultimate Wolverines. These are not going to be huge books, but maybe the Batmans. I haven't even looked at them, to tell you the truth. But the Batmans, there's 3 of them. There's this one. There's the Akira homage. Let me see. And then there's a Detective 27 homage. Then I got a Absolute Wonder Woman foil, and then a Superman, Absolute Superman second print. Not huge books, but if I can get 9/8, yeah, I can definitely sell them and see, and I could recoup some of the cash that's going to be coming out of it. Now I'm going to show you the bigger books, okay? Yeah, well, these are big. Not saying those are not big books. These are big. This is one that I'm thinking about keeping, not sure about it. This one I will definitely sell. Even if it comes back as a 9/8, I'll sell, because I do have signatures from Tynan in the #1 already, and I got to recoup some cash out of this deal. All right, so the #1 first print will definitely be sold. The 6th print, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with the rest of this. All right. Let's start with this one, because I'm not going to open this one up. Okay, this is a Spawn 327. This is the Momoko variant. This is signed, though, by Todd McFarlane. Pretty decent book, man. No reason, I don't see any reason really why this book should also not come back as a 9/8. That is not discoloration. That is part of the book. I don't see any reason. So hopefully, fingers crossed on that. It is you gotta admit that is a great cover. Okay, not a book I'm gonna keep, but there's a lot of Momoko fans out there. We'll save this one for a little bit later. We'll save this one for a little bit later. Okay, this one was not part of the deal, but it was part of the final price, so I threw it in there. This is Inkpot. This should go into that pile over there, though. But these are Inkpot's Red Sonjas. Inkpot is a look. This is an artist that likes to show very thick females, if you know what I mean. So there's a market for it, and no, I'm not gonna keep it, but I know somebody's gonna want it. So yeah, I decided to buy those. Those, again, they didn't come with the lot, but it came with the price. All right, let's look at the rest of them, and the rest meaning these last 3. And these last 3 are the ones that, man, okay. This one is a really nice looking book, man. Not a 9.8, but a very nice looking book. The Sandsman thought this was between, I think he thought it was between a 9.6 and a 9.8. I think he did, but I don't believe he looked at it so well. Like when I look at it with this thing here, you see all the imperfections on it. Okay, first things first. Right there, it's got a nice little thumbprint. Not an actual fingerprint, but that's definitely somebody that turned the page and left a little dent there. Look here, this is the reason why McFarlane hates this cover. It's because he forgot the color part of the yellow right next to Batman's face. All right, the spine looks really good. It has some ticks, but they're not color breaking, and I know for a fact that Kendra is really good with those little ticks like that. Really good. It's got a little bit of a ding in here. You can't notice it much from here, but wait till I turn it on the other end. Of course, it's got the full Todd McFarlane signature. And let's turn it. Now, right there, see that? That's where we have a problem. So, yeah, definitely Kendra will be able to do something about that. How much can he do about it? I'm not sure. The rest of the spine is not so bad. You can see some of those ticks that filter in the back. One of them might break color just a little bit, needs a little bit of a press, and then there's that little ding right here that you can't really notice it much from the front, but you can notice it here a little bit. Current condition, I have to think that this is like a 9.0 right now. I have to think this is a 9.0 as we speak. Can Kendra get this to a 9.4? Man, I'm not sure. I'm not even sure if the press will help it. I think it will. I mean, as far as helping the grade, I think it will. I mean, I'm going to give it a shot anyway, but we'll see. As a signature, either way, this is going to be a pretty big hit. And this is one of the books that I was thinking about maybe keeping, but I'm not sure. I'm really not sure if I'm going to keep this one or if I'm going to sell it. This was the feature book of the lot. This is what he started this off at. Now, this is definitely not a book I'm going to keep. Now, the Sandsman, I know that he watches my videos, and I know he's going to watch this one. All right? He's a guy that does take criticism very well. When it comes to moderns, he's pretty good at grading. But when it comes to like Silver Age, Golden Age, he definitely needs a little bit of practice. So he said this is a 5.5. He between a 5.0 and he said that with a press, this could reach a 6.0. Now I hope that he's right. I don't think it will, but I hope that he's right. But in my opinion, this is definitely not a 5.0 or a 4 or a 5.5. I think. Well, let's take a look at the book and let's figure it out. Okay. When you look at it, Batman 181, first appearance of Poison Ivy. This is her first appearance, right here, right there, official, right in the comic. This book, where you want to make sure that it has. Actually bought a different one off of him, a different time that did not have the centerfold. You want that centerfold there. And by the way, no, he did say that it did not have a centerfold. He was right on cue with that book, as a matter of fact, with the grade and everything. This one, I didn't show that book, by the way. I decided not to grade it, and I put it up for auction, and we'll see how that does. But anyway, as far as this one, just as presentation alone, this definitely presents very well. Beautiful colors. Beautiful colors. This is a perfect example of a book that you want graded, because you don't know if this is restored. Now, yes, there's people that can tell. I don't have a light. Maybe I should invest in one, but I'm sending it out and hoping that this is not restored. I don't believe it's going to be. Sometimes when the colors are this great, though, I wonder. But usually restoration bleeds into the book, and there is no bleeding in the back here. But listen, obviously it's going to have, it's a book from 1966. It's going to have some imperfections. See, there's even though it presents well here, once you start getting close into it, then you can see the imperfections on the books. See, it's got definitely a lot of soiling. I'm going to see if I can go over it with a special eraser, actually, right after I get through with this video. Presents very well, man. The back has a lot more soiling. There's guys that get this stuff out really well, man, with chemicals, but I don't. I don't know, man. I think that's kind of like cheating, but they get away with it. because they know how to do it, professionals. And then I've seen other guys do other methods using ultraviolet lights, I think, to get that stuff out. I know for a fact that Kendra doesn't do that. Maybe it's something that he should research one day, but I don't know if he ever will. All right, but so far I'm sending my books out to him regardless. I don't know how much the other pressers cost, but I'm happy with Kendra's results. I think this book, just by looking at it, all the pages they hold together, it's full, it's complete. It's got nice color pages too. It's definitely off-white to white, I would say, right? But I'm gonna say current condition of this book is probably between a 4.0 and a 4.5. Can it get to a 5.5 like the Sandsman thinks? I don't know. I don't even know if press is gonna bump this up so much for me, but it's gonna get pressed anyway, and we'll see. We'll see what this comes up as, right? My guess is that it's gonna come back at a 4.5, 5.0 is my guess. But anything after that is, man, gravy. If I get these all in 9.8, this is one that's going to be really hard to say no to as far as keeping. I mean, man, you know how I feel about this character already. In my opinion, the greatest modern character in comics right now. Invincible's is right there. Morales is right there. In my opinion, Blue Marvel, even though he hasn't done anything, I think it's going to require Marvel to have a black, either head of the MCU or maybe editor-in-chief of the MCU to bring the Blue Marvel into the forefront here and really get him the respect that, in my opinion, he deserves. But as far as Erica Slaughter, this is the best character in comics, in my opinion, in the past 3 decades. In my opinion, definitely the best book in the world right now in comic books. There's no other book like that. If you're reading the story, I just can't see how you can deny that. But look at this. This is Ivan Tao's Something's Killing the Children, 26 through 30. All right. If you see imperfections, it's because of the bags and the light reflection. But these look phenomenal. This is probably, I know that he had some really big books here, okay? But this is one of the main reasons why I bought this. I wanted to keep this, and I saw that some of those books I could sell and get some of my money back. So we'll see how this comes out. I need 9.8s in every single one of these, and this can be definitely like a $2,000. This right here pays for most of the lot. So, but I would keep it. I would keep it, even though I know most of you guys are going to say sell it. But look at how freaking dope this is, man. Yeah, I will see. We'll see what happens next. Show you guys as the books come back. And I have the sheet already ready for how we're going to do this. And this is going to be more cost for me right there. And then we'll see what we're going to keep. I sent these out in 2 25-book pre-screen submissions. I got the first 25-book submission last week, which is this one. It was a great submission. I got 25 out of 25 9.8s. And some of we're going to call them the lesser books in the buy, okay, in this purchase. But they're pretty cool books anyway. This is the Ig Pot. I have not seen a 9.8 in this yet, but we're still early, all right? Mid-April now, and by the time I put this out, this is probably going to be like a year from now that I put this out, because just based on, I got to wait on these books to get, the other books to get pressed, and some of them verified and graded, and then the cells also. But 25 out of 25, so freaking awesome. I'll show you some of the other books. These Ig Pots, I'm assuming I can get at least $100 a piece for these, because I've seen these two as a set go for $100 still in April. If they're selling them individually, they can go for $30 or $40 though. But I think I can get minimum $100 each on them. This one is a dark horse because I barely see this one around, and it was commanding over $200. The last two I think have sold for like $150 and $180, but then you don't really see them much. So I think I can get over $200 for it now, because I don't see there's none on eBay right now for sale. I checked. This is the Detective 27 homage. This is about $120 book. It's a good homage. Absolute Batman is something that people are collecting now. They're reading it and they're liking the story. I have yet to read the story. The Akira, it goes for about the same price as that one goes for. This is the third printing. They made other versions of this cover as well. I hate it when they do that, because it's like, And then these always will sell, because Transformer fans just like the cover. It's a plain cover, but it looks cool because you got the shiny Transformer logo there. And then I got the red one as well. So I think these will probably go for like $75 each, I'm assuming. This one's a 1 in 25 Wolverine #1. Somebody put one in auction and went for like $30. I'm not putting that in auction. I'm going to see how much it goes for. You guys will see also. Hopefully they'll all sell. But all of these will get sold. And this is the Crane. This is a variant though. This is commanding probably around $60 to $75, I would say. I'll show you some of the other ones that came in. All right. I sent this one out because I just always loved this cover, and I found this for like $15 in the store, and I said, this looks like a 9.8, and yeah, it's a 9.8. Unfortunately, I went out and I looked at prices for this. They're freaking super cheap, man, which I don't even get it, because you know how hard it is to get this now? This is from 1993 now, okay? So it's over 30 years old, but it's pretty hard to get this thing in a 9.8. I haven't checked to see how many 9.8s there are on the census, but I'm very surprised to see how cheap that goes for. If I sell it, I'm not gonna be asking too little for it. Okay, now this. All right, I almost made a video on this, but because of variants, I'm like, you know what? I was recommending variants before, and I'm pretty sure, just like myself, some people that may have followed my lead might have gotten burnt on it. So I almost feel like guilty sometimes, and that's why I don't post as much as I did. I think I am gonna post. Look, I always say, man, that collecting comic books, it's a luxury, okay? You should only do it if you really like the hobby, or if you have the money to buy the luxury, okay? That's the way I'm going to put it. Like if you're struggling paying your bills, you should not be buying comic books. None of these. I mean, sure, if you're reading something you want to indulge yourself, like I collect Something Scaling the Children. I read that. My wife reads it. We love the story, and we can't wait for the next issue. Even though those issues you could read them like in 3 minutes sometimes, but it's just so riveting to me anyway. But I saw this, and this is Jaws variant. Maybe I should have made a video on it. This was limited to 450. I bought 10 of them, and all 10, of course, came back 9.8, 25 or 25. This is freaking ridiculous. A Sad Lemon exclusive. And as of right now, I think this is going for 175 to 200, and I got a feeling it's going to stay like that. Maybe they might even go up. I'm going to probably send 2 of these to get sold. And Mark Spears is one of those guys that's going to be. He's making his mark. Pun taken, okay, but on comic books, this guy might be, man, the next. Well, he is the next great artist, but could you say the next McFarlane-like artist? Maybe. I mean, right now he's working mostly for Keenspot. He's starting to do some work for DC. I could see him doing work for Marvel. One thing that other artists, great artists, didn't really get to do, like a Dave Stevens, for example. Dave Stevens, obviously he didn't live that long, unfortunately, but he didn't really get to work. Like, imagine Dave Stevens getting to work on Mary Jane, right, and Spider-Man, him getting to work on the Black Cat, or some of the X-Men. I mean, I could see Mark Spears doing some Marvel work, and like he's doing for DC, some of the Lobo. There's a Lobo cover out there that's freaking spectacular. I don't have it. I think I'm going to try and get it. I'm going to let you guys look. These right here, well, this is not part of the buy, and those are not part of the buy, but these are. And I think these are going to chip away at that, 2100. I'll tell you one that pretty much puts me in, oh my God, a driver's seat. I've called this character the best comic book character in the past 20 years. That is my opinion. Invincible's obviously there. I mean, most people, I think, are going to say that Invincible is a better original character than she is. Miles Morales is not exactly an original character. He's a hybrid of Spider-Man. Bendis, that's what he likes creating. It's hybrids. And I kind of don't blame them for creating hybrids, because it's not like they own the character. So they find other characters and just make variants of them. Captain America has a bunch of variants, and so does the Hulk. Spider-Man, I mean, they just can't stop making variants of Spider-Man. He'll have like 20,000 variants before I die, I think. This one is, I mean, could you call her like a hybrid of Buffy the Vampire Slayer? Maybe, but it's still, in comic books, this is an original character. The story's freaking phenomenal. This was supposed to be, man, my keeper of this. This is the reason why I pretty much did this deal. That being the case, though, I've gotten myself in a jam, and this is something that I want you guys to follow up on. I've gotten myself in a credit card jam because I bought these on credit. So, like right now, I've been holding a balance, not because of these books. I've had other buys that I had to do, and I've kind of overextended myself in the credit card. So I'm like, this deal, if I sold this today, it would pay more than pay for the entire lot. These can go in 9.8s at around 2,500. I've seen it go for 2,900 and change. So you don't see the lots like the because you got to get the entire set in a 9.8, and you got to have gotten the entire set. I'm really struggling with keeping it. My wife wants me to keep it. I'm gonna see what happens with the rest of the books, see how I'm doing, and then I'm gonna see if maybe these become my real keepers. This was the intention of the entire thing in the beginning anyway, in the first place. But either way, I'm just happy that I got them. All in 9.8s. They have made reprints of these. I think they made foils, but these are the originals. So you got to go with Something's Killing the Children 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. Two of them are Golden Apple exclusives, the last two, and the first three are Frankie's Comics exclusives. Yeah. This, man. Now, I'll tell you guys what this costs, okay? Ooh, not cheap. We'll go with these, right? It's 5 of them, $123 to get graded. So what happens is, the way the grading went, it's $600 for 25 books. I added $15 for shipping. That came out to $615 divided by 25. That comes out to $24.60 per book graded. $123 for the set of Something's Killing the Children. $49.20 for the sets of the, Red Sonja's had 2 of them, so it's $49.20. $49.20 for the 2 Transformer logos, the 2 Ultimate Wolverines, and then the 3 Batmans came out to $73.80. That so far comes out to like $340 just on grading these books that I gotta add on top of that $21.11, and I haven't sold a single book yet. And that's all pretty much on credit. Okay, so if you don't have the money, you should not be doing what I'm doing here. You should not be. Should not. It's just a way to go broke. Okay? Fast. Never do that, please. Alright. I'll show you guys the next unboxing, but it's that one. That one's not going to be happy. That's not a good unboxing like this one. That one, I think I only got 9 out of 25. You see the price on those. Oof. Most of the books have come back. I'm only missing 2 books not being graded. The Batman 423 and the Batman 181, which I want to get pressed by Mr. Kendra. Now, I can't stress this enough, man. Getting a book graded, especially if it's modern, nowadays, it's almost better just to send it out to get the grade instead of the pre-screen. And sometimes it's not even worth that. I would say 99% of the modern books that are out there right now are not worth getting graded right now. Easily 99%, because moderns, especially right now, they're not going for a lot, and if they do, they tend to drop pretty fast. Yeah, some of them are going to make it, and I'm still going to speculate regardless, okay? But be very careful, especially that the $5 per book has been now raised to $9 per book. Case in point, these 2 came back. Only 9 out of the 25 got the 9.8. This was a very expensive 9.8, almost not even worth it. Each one based on my calculations, was $45.60 just to get slabbed, because I got so many misses on that, right? To get, man, more than half of them, pretty much 2/3 of them, really didn't get the grade, right? That is hefty. It's a hefty price to pay for a modern 9.8. $45.60 just for the. I mean, sometimes these moderns they could go for $30, and then now what? Now you get. I don't know what these are gonna go for. I'm not, as of right now, I'm not planning on putting them in auction. You're better off just selling them at a fixed price. I don't know, maybe $60 or $70. I don't know. I honestly don't even know what they're going for right now. But let's say if they go for $50 or under, I mean, I'm at that point I'm losing, because I got to pay an auction fee and shipping to my comic shop. However, the signatures, that was, even though it's also a hefty price to get graded. These cost $55.38 per book to get graded. I sent out 13 books with these, okay, and except for Something Skilled Children number 0, cover A, that got a 9.6. All the other ones that were in this particular set all got the 9.8, in this project, I'm going to say. This is a big one, the McFarlane 357. Beautiful book, man. Pretty book. I actually thought everything had a shot. I thought everything was going to get the 9.8. I'm not going to lie to you. Look, never been a huge fan of Scotty Young, but there's a ton of people that love it. Maybe you might love Scotty Young. This is going to be sold in my comic shop along with that. I'm hoping I can get maybe $100 for that. I don't even know if I can, but we'll see. I've seen this, I think, go for like close to 200. And, I mean, we're going to see. The big one is this one here, though. Cover A, Something's Killing the Children, number 1. Yeah. Got the 9.8. Beauty. Oh. All right. I'll show you guys some of the other. Okay. The thing with these is you're talking about $10 to get pressed, because I wanted to get them pressed because JSA was going to handle them. $20 for JSA to authenticate them. Luckily, they all obviously got authenticated. And then the grading fee. That's why it comes out to $55.38. Something you got to really think about, because I've seen, some signature series that are going for less than $50 sometimes on auctions. All right, but this project's ending up to be like really good. I'm already in the black. All right, I'll show you guys some of the other ones. I'm not going to show you the 9 that went with this group, because they're not really huge books. There are a couple Spears books that were pretty cool, but man, that was just disappointing. But these are the 2 that I'm going to show. These are the ones that I sent out with the 13. These are the other 13 that got the signatures. All but 1 got the 9.8. This was Miko Suiyan, and of course, this is an homage to Batman 423. Infinity Gauntlet. This is a Jim Starlin signature. The signature is right there, and yeah, that's the way that he signs, man. He signs just like that. It's like scribble. All right. Pretty. This is just a regular direct. Suiyan again. This is the Christopher Reeves. Very nice. Another big book, Something's Killing the Children. Of course, this is Jay Lee. This is the New York City Comic Con. The sketch, pretty expensive book by itself as well. This is definitely easily over a G as well. That was a book. You know what? Rest in peace, Chad RCG. I ended up getting that off of him. I also have the certificate that they didn't send me back. I got, this is Greg Pak, War of the Realms #2. I sent this out because it was Greg Pak, and you know what? I was like, you know what? This looks like a 9.8. I sent it. Yeah, it's a 9.8. This is another Greg Pak. That's a 9.8. This is the Filipino variant. Arrow #1. This is, oh, okay. This is a very rare book, actually. Super rare, but most people are not going to know what this is. This is Creed. Creed #1. From 1994. Trent Kanuga. And also, they didn't send me the certificate for this. And I wanted that certificate badly because of this book. I mean, it's authenticated, but damn, I wanted that certificate. They didn't send it back. I don't even know. That's very disappointing for CGC not to do that. And then Michael Turner. I have another Michael Turner. Actually, a couple more Michael Turner signatures that I probably should have sent. I'll send them over to Kendra, though, I think, when I send that Batman 423. This is Fathom #3. Yeah, so far that's what we got. All right, let's see what happens next. Last two books come back from CGC. Batman 423 9.4. This looks, at least from the spine, like it just came out of the newsstand. The press is not perfect. There is a little bit of a crease that you could still see on the book. Right there. And right around here. Thumbprint is gone. But look, that was on the high end. The major problem with this was right here, and that looks so much better than what it did. That was bulging out. The staple even looks better. Spine looks phenomenal for a black covered spine. Of course, we had that little blunt corner right there. Actually looks a little better now after the press. All in all, not bad. I mean, you press your books yourself, you can put this in a press like another 4 times to get that out. There's no doubt in my mind that Kendra probably put this on a press at least twice to get that bulge in the back out by the staple. Very nice, very nice. Still on the high end of what I was expecting. I was thinking that because of that staple, I was going to get maybe a 9.0 or 9.2, but 9.4, I'll take it all day. Even if those would have came out, I think this is still would have been a 9.4. But this one came back at a 4.5. On the high end, I was expecting on the high end, hoping for a 5.0, but I kind of knew that even with a press, I wasn't too sure how good this was going to be because of all the existing issues that this had. I mean, it looks phenomenal. Presenting copy, and it's all complete. Pages are off-white to white like I thought it would be. But yeah, like, you know, some of the creases are still there. Even if those creases would have came out, though, it would have still probably been a 4.5. The back, Kendra definitely cleaned it more after I sent it to him. See that? That was definitely dirtier when I sent it to him. So he definitely worked on that. Very happy with that, regardless. Okay, because what you want with a press is you want your books to look better. Yes, you'll take the grading upgrade, obviously, which, in my opinion, I definitely got, but it is expensive. It's expensive. I feel compelled to sell them graded because of it's not me telling you what a grade is. It's a professional telling you what the grade is. And of course I pay extra for that. How much extra? All right, Batman 181 cost me $59.93 extra to get in a vintage tier. The Batman 423, because of the signature, $20 more for the signature. The press and the grade, $73.27. All the press grading price was $845.70 extra. And 21 plus 21.11, which is the price, comes out to $29.57.20 total that I spent pretty much on this deal. So hopefully I'll be getting some results back to. Right now I've sold some of the books and I'm like, it's like $600. So I still got a lot of catch up to do to get to that $29.57. But the bigger books haven't gone yet. But not everything is peachy, okay? Like the Absolute Batmans, the 3 lot was a $344 profit. But look at that, Absolute Superman and Absolute Wonder Woman. $9.90 on the Wonder Woman, a negative $3.60 on the Superman. You can't slab everything, right? That's why it's very, very important that you know what you're slabbing. It is now the end of May 2026, and I am going to be calling an end to this project, even though I still have 2 sets of books I haven't sold yet. But my two objectives have been achieved. One was to put a little bit of money in my pocket after my expenses, and 2 was to at least keep 1 book or a set of books. And you tell me if this was worth it or not. Now keep in mind, this has been a project that's almost 1.5 years. All right, because you're talking about early 2025, and then now we're mid 2026. I've made some mistakes with this though, big time, man, big time. The biggest mistake was the Absolute Batmans. So I'll show you guys what I mean. There are lessons within the lesson. All right, I've said this a lot of times here. Whenever you are on eBay and you see an item that you want and you're looking to purchase it, and the seller is my comic shop, don't buy it on eBay. Buy it on my comic shop. This is the Akira homage. It sold for on my comic shop for $115. I got back $103.50 after their fees. But check this out. It's $115 that it sold for, but on eBay somebody bought it for $135. They actually paid $20 more for that. For what? You could just, save yourself $20 plus the taxes. But anyway, that's one of the sales, right? Check this one out here. This was the Batman 27 homage. That one sold for $125. And this one, oh my God, this is the worst one. This is the Felix. I talked about this as this being, I couldn't see this. I couldn't see it, that many of them on eBay. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I could get over $200 for it. I did get over $200 for it. I ended up getting $235 for that, which was good for the time. I mean, I sold it because it's a variant, and you know what? The majority of variants, man, and then this is the truth. Majority of variants don't hold their value. This one did, and it's way surpassed it. I mean, it killed it. You're talking about, that's what this costs now. Just the regular one. Where's the regular one? Look at that. And these are signed. I could have waited and gotten them signed. But, I mean, the regular one's going for like $1,500 to $1,800 right now. Felix Comic Art, you could actually sign up to his newsletter on online. Just go on Google and put Felix Comic Art. It'll take you right to it, and you can sign up to his newsletter. All his stuff is going nuts. Yeah, this one's definitely the one that hurt the most. So you're gonna see, I know I sold it for like $115, but after their fees, I actually came out with $100.50, because what I do is I deduct the fee minus $3, because I have to ship to my comic shop. So you got to take all of that into effect. The one that sold for $125 is minus their fees, minus $3 again. I only came back with $109. And then this is the big one, the Felix, $208.50. I mean, still made nice profit out of it, $418. These are the profits and the losses. There were losses even in the grading, because it's moderns. Look, here's the fact. Moderns, out of every 1,000 books, modern books that are out there, you'll be lucky like if one is going to end up being worth more than what you bought it for. You got to really pick your books, okay? And sometimes, yeah, they hit big like that one does, like the Felix one did. But sometimes they don't, okay? And the majority of times they don't. All right. So, Something's Killing the Children. The number one signed, ended up getting $934 out of that one. I have that one over here. Did I do that one? Let me see. Okay, I wanted to show this. That's right. All right, so check this out. This is Something's Killing the Children, number one, JSA, for $10.25. That's what I had it up for sale in my comic shop. Now, my comic shop did sell it, but they sold it on eBay. This is their sale on eBay. They actually sold it for $1,260 on eBay, man. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. I sold it for $10.25. But keep in mind, I'm only getting back $937 out of that, right? But that's $200, over $200 that guy ended up spending, that he didn't even have to spend. He could just went over here and bought the book. But anyway, but that one brought me $934. So I'll take that. The signed Scotty Young's, not bad. You know, the 9.8 went for, I got back $141, and the 9.6 was $86.50. These are the Taos, 26 through 30. Look, that's another one, right? I thought that was going to be huge. It is still big, and I'm keeping a copy of those. I have two more, so I ended up having 3 sets. Now I have 3 sets in 9.8s, but one of them is in my comic shop. That's there because it hasn't sold, obviously, but that book, the first couple of sales, I saw one for almost $3,000, another one for $2,500. It's been going down. I've seen one go for as low as, I think, $1,300, and I have seen another one go for around $1,500. I've gotten an offer for 1,000 for the 5, but I don't want to take it. I definitely don't want to take 1,000 for it. I'll hold off on it. I have it up on my comic shop right now, but we'll see. And unfortunately, with my comic shop, they don't do the groups because they charge you 25% for a group of books. So I have them, individually. We'll see how it does. The Transformers, $81 for the signed one, and for that set, 75 each is what they sold for. I ended up coming back with 129 for both of them. These were bad. The Ultimate Wolvies, the Ultimate Universe has not been anything good for Marvel. Not like the Absolute has been for, maybe Spider-Man, I think, is the only one that's really doing well there. Ultimate Spider-Man, but everything else, no way. And the Absolute Universe for DC is taking off, man. And that Batman book, I started reading that. Let me tell you something, man. That's some good writing. Snyder, a hell of a freaking writer, man. That #1 cover, the cover A, even though there's a ton of them, it's already an iconic cover. I don't believe it's going to be like a super hot book, but it's going to be a book that you're going to see for the rest of your life, as far as it's going to keep getting homaged. Okay, so that's probably not the right wording, but it's going to keep getting duplicated by other publishers. All right. Wolverine, look at this Wolverines. $42 and $32. I mean, that's awful. It's god awful. The worst one was the Absolute Superman and Absolute Wonder Woman. Absolute Superman, I didn't even get back the grading fee for that. Grading fee was $45.60 because that was like an awful grading that I... when the grading came back for those, man, that was a terrible day. But ended up not even getting my grading fee back after all the fees, and -3, $9 on this one. But think about it. Let's say if I would have went and I bought that book, Absolute Wonder Woman, for the foil, right? If I would have paid $10, I would have been in the negative on that as well. All right. We got the Red Sonjas, have not sold yet. The Batman 423 signed. That's that one right there. Did pretty good. I knew this one would do well. $375 for it. Hey, not bad. And then the Batman 181. 4.5 ended up selling for $575. Now, if it would have been a 5.5 like the Sandsman said it was, it would have been a lot more than that. It would have been around $700. But 4.5, you know what? It was still a good deal. No matter what, it was still a good deal for me. So, came back with $32.92, and then what is my keeper? My keeper ends up being, I put it away, so I just didn't want to take it out. But you've seen it in the beginning of the video. It is signed mine. This one just sold a couple months ago for $600, a regular 9.8. I would imagine that mine is probably worth about maybe $800. Add $200 to that because it's witnessed. But I don't have it, so I decided to keep that one instead of the towels because now I have a towel to keep regardless. So I'm actually keeping 2 towels for now. And then whenever this sells, that $335, because all these sales after fees come out to $32.92. And that price has already the grading fees for the books that are out there still. So the profit minus what I spent comes out to $335.54. That's in my pocket while I'm keeping the something scale, the children's 6 print 9.8. So that is the project, my friends. This was a long process. Thank you guys for whoever watched this whole thing. Here's looking at you, Wilbert. You probably watched this in 5 days. Later, dudes. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Sandsman. Great deal, man. It was a great deal for me. I know it was a great deal for you because you do the hunting, and then I put out the finances for this, and it worked out for me. So I think it's going to work out a lot more once this sells, because if this sells for, man, I mean, even if I would say at the very least is 1,000, because I do have that offer. But then now it's not going to be so bad, right? And with this Red Sanyas, I'm surprised those egg pots are still up for sale. I got them up for less than $100 right now, and they're still not selling. But they'll sell eventually. I might put them on an auction on my comic shop. I really don't want to do that because then they're going to go for like $40 each. But I'm already in the black, so like right now anything is gravy. Later, my homies.